According to multiple media reports, the Broncos interviewing former head coach Chuck Pagano here at UC Health Training Center today as the Broncos officially get their head coaching search underway. Hello from the Broncos Media Center. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer, Steve Atwater. Chuck Pagano in the building today, meeting with Broncos decision makers. What do you think Chuck might be able to bring to the Broncos?
I think perspective is the biggest thing that I think of when I think of Chuck Pagano, just because he had so many great years with the Colts, only one losing season, a great success with a guy like Andrew Luck. The other thing, too, he had that battle with leukemia. I think that really informed some of his coaching perspective later on. And one of the things that he said in an interview with Ian Rappaport in December was, this year was kind of a resting and reflective year for him. He took some time off, was able to visit with the Texans. His brother, of course, John Pagano, a coach there. He was also able to visit some college coaches. So he might have a very good grasp of what's going on in the league right now, Steve.
Yeah, I agree. Again, him going through the leukemia, I believe is what he had, is, a life-altering experience, I would imagine. And, he had some good success there with the Indianapolis Colts. And, the Broncos are going to bring in several different people here over the next, week and a half. And we never know really and truly what they're looking for. They got guys who are on the defensive side of the ball, guys on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, Chuck Pagano was more a defensive guy. It'll be interesting because I know John mentioned that he wants to make sure that in addition to the defense doing well, that offense, we want to take that up to the next level as well. So,
what do you think? If they brought in a Chuck Pagano, you think they'd try to maybe match him up with Gary Kubiak?
I think so. I think that would be a perfect match, especially if, like everyone is saying, Gary wants to get back into coaching and be an offensive coordinator. That would be a perfect match. And, I love Gary Kubiak in the building with his hands, being able to have a direct contact with the players as much as possible. And I think he and Chuck Pagano could be a really good match.
Pagano spent last year as an NFL consultant. He went to New York every single week, looked over all of the different referee calls, and tried to bring a little bit of coaching experience into that as an NFL consultant. How much of an impact do you think that would make, Matt? Just him going over the rules and understanding some of the finer nuances of being a head coach in this league.
I think it's huge. I mean, you think about how much the game changes year to year. So much evolution in the especially with the offense. We think about RPOs now and the way things are changing, the way offensive coordinators are thinking. To be able to sit inside that NFL office and kind of see, what officials are looking for, what's a holding call and what's not. I mean, these are huge advantages for a head coach that's coming back into the league.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also the fact that he gets a chance to, look at all the different teams. He wasn't focused on one particular team. And, once you become a head coach, you got to focus on your team. So you got a chance to see what a lot of other teams are doing, some of the things that work and some things that don't work. I think that can only help. That'll help him in whatever position he ends up with next year.
Chuck Pagano was 11-5 in each of his first 3 seasons as the Colts head coach. He interviewed for the Packers job last week, reportedly. He's going to be a hot name. What do you think about timetable here? If they're thinking it's Pagano, maybe early next week, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine if they say, all right, this is the guy, they interview well, he interviews them, they interview him, and they feel like it's a match made in heaven, they go ahead and pull the trigger. There's no use of waiting if you got the guy right here.
The Packers might have the advantage with the better record this year.
The guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback position, right?
It helps a little bit.
But, the Broncos do have the advantage of this is home. This is home for Chuck Pagano, a Boulder native, Fairview High School. So that could play into his decision, too. It might give the Broncos a bit of an advantage.
Well, the Broncos reportedly up next going to be interviewing Zach Taylor, the Rams quarterback coach. So we'll bring you an update with all the latest news coming out of the UC Health Training Center. Until then, for Steve Atwater and Matt Boyer, I'm Phil Milani.